show coming from the RAC store. With this back in the Mac in the back flow. Let's go, chillin' with raccoons by the back door. Take calls so you can stake more. All I wanna do is making dough, right? But I found this crew and doing alright. We wreck, will bitch, ready to fight. So many raccoons ready for the boss life. I might fly high like a kite, right? But always ready for a shite for the right price. Raccoon supply has the right price. Giving you respect if it's likewise. So I'm buying all the mean guys with the clean heart. Read between lies, laser beam through lean eyes. Larry or with clean lies, trash mouth, mean smile, be wise. NFT wise, fuck with these guys. It's the RAC lab from the back lab. 100 NFTs in my backpack. Crazy RAC lab from the stash app. RAC will take a lead in this haystack. It's the RAC lab from the back lab.
Alright, listen, I can't be too loud right now because it's really early. Alright, for real though, cut the applause. No, cut the applause, you're waking the fucking baby up. God, so rude. Alright, listen, I can't be too loud right now because it's really early. But Robo forgot to send me the reminder link, and you know I live and I die by these reminder links, baby. So when you don't send me one, we get what we have here, an episode that started after the episode started. So I'm going to just leave that there and enjoy the rest of the show. Much love, y'all.
So right now it hurts, right? Like you see mutants, you see Skellies moving over. You see a lot of projects' next collections going on Polygon. So between like right now and the next collection, we're not getting that next collection. But what we do have is between now and the collection after, so probably 2 to 5 months, depending on the project, that's where Stargaze has time to kind of build and improve, where once that decision comes for the collection after their next immediate one, then you kind of reset that decision. Hey, do we launch on Polygon or do we launch on Stargaze? So that's kind of how I'm viewing it from my point of view. I've been following the Polygon projects. A lot of the projects launching over there, they kind of, like snake oil salesmen, right? Like it's all hype and then the project is like dead after 2 weeks. So in terms of the quality I'm seeing over there, Polygon's got a ton of hype, but it's bringing in a ton of trash as well. And it's bringing a lot of rugs. So short term hurts, medium term, I think it's just kind of nice because we have time to improve, and that cross promotion, everyone knows what Polygon is. No one knows what Stargaze is. So my big push is in the medium term to hopefully get a bunch of stuff done.
Guess who we got in the room? We got the wonderful Signal. Hey, this is an interesting one because of like not really having an association with like Stargaze, for example. Mol, what do you think, bro?
I don't know. My point of view is like a bit more general, I would say, because I feel like it's not like, yes, NFT is a big part of Cosmos, that's the thing, but I'm just a bit more worried, more of a general point of view where there is not that much liquidity on Cosmos as a whole. So, and like Bonzi spoke about like having some hype, but at the end of the day, if you want to have like some liquidity, you need some hype, and most of the time it's for sure it's going to have like some trash collections and stuff like that, but people want to risk it, and I don't know, I feel like it's more a matter of liquidity at the end of the day. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just seeing like what's happening in Arbitrum. Like in the past week, it was like 1 billion volume. I know we can't compare ourselves to Arbitrum, but I don't know, man. I feel like it's more a general thing. More liquidity would help more people. So do we need to maybe, I don't know, work on having onboarding new people on Cosmos and showing them like the community is strong. It's amazing. Like I'm bonding with people on Cosmos, but we need to like have more people and more liquidity. So it's more of a general point of view, let's say.
Right, we'll go to Pepe, yeah, before we welcome Signal. Oh, Pepe is balancing work, so we'll say hello to Signal. Welcome to the chat, and then we'll get Jacob's answer. Hello, Signal. See, you made it.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I had to switch from phone to PC, but I'm following this question and happy to comment after Jacob.
Lovely. And dude, congratulations on that space last week. That was an awesome one. That, like, with Little G in the Cosmos Spaces crew. I highly recommend people go back and listen to that if you're interested in this collaboration Signal's got going on. Yeah, but Jacob, any on the liquidity?
I would say I'm kind of between Bunzi and Mo, because you need liquidity to build anything anyway, but also you need more feature and stargaze. So there's a lot of things that people need. Like Saga said, they were gonna have ships soon, like the DAO, like the staking and all this. So maybe that might be the cause. Like, some people are leaving because some of the things Saga said they were gonna deliver, it's not happening soon as people want them to be. And also the lack of liquidity doesn't help also, like the perceived notion of everybody. So that kind of hurt also. But I say the long-term Stargaze will win, but they need to provide more feature on the platform, like the UI and stuff like that. So that's my point. But I'm a big fan of Stargaze. I think Stargaze might have the chance of becoming the biggest NFT platform on Cosmos for a long time. They just need to innovate more, like, as of right now. Because I would say if there were like another fully great competitive, like if Blur or any other NFT on Ethereum launch on Cosmos with their on-chain, they will take over Stargaze. So that's how I see it. But I think Stargaze is really amazing. So as of right now, so they need to do better, because you never know. Maybe a Ethereum platform might want to launch on Cosmos. So that's my take.
Yeah, I think everybody definitely agrees that, like, we all like love Stargaze. I think there's definitely that massive affinity from the entire community, you know. Signal, buddy, you want to wrap it up unless Pepe can be free?
For me on this, it's like, I think one of the issues is that liquidity is spread across the Cosmos ecosystem so much. And because of that, like, I don't know, I've had like personal experiences where, like, I see a collection came out or something, I'm like, oh, I want to grab that. And then I'm like, I don't know, I don't have enough liquid. And I'm like looking at my wallet, seeing, okay, I got like 3 Juno over here, I could swap over, and I got like 10 Osmo over here, I can like pull a little bit together. So I imagine that that's a common user issue. And because, I mean, if you look at the entire ecosystem or across IBC, there's a lot of liquidity, right? But it's not in one spot. So I'm thinking that I don't know exactly how they'll work on the user end, but I think the Stargaze outposts will be really interesting, and might make it a lot easier for people that maybe they have most of their stuff in Osmo to be like dialed in and hop on collections and things like that. So I think that'll help with maybe some of the isolation that currently occurs, specifically for Stargaze. And I do think Stargaze is kind of the one I'm most optimistic about.
Yeah, I'm also excited for the outpost, so I can't wait. I can't wait for it to launch, you know.
Oh, there's someone in the crowd. You're mentioning outposts, and I bet there's someone in the crowd that's doing like little dance in his house right now, listening to this. Actually, outposts are going to come up because I saw the Kujira poll. The White Whale or Migaloo poll about Kujira and Stargaze. That was interesting. Right, guys, I want to come at this from a different angle. Yesterday, on I think it was Jake's space they were doing, the Code and Chill or something, Don Kryptonium had another rant about Stargaze fees. Now, we're not going to have the same conversation because we kicked off with that last week with Bonzi at the start, etc. We had a good talk. But my question is this conversation about fees on Stargaze ever going to fucking go away? I think that's the next question. What are we going to do to end the conversation? Go on, we'll go to Bonzi first again, since it's Stargaze.
Oh, yeah. So, it depends on the way you look at fees. Long term, I think turning on gas is a very potential option that may come up. I just would not expect it to be near term. Between now and then, honestly, the listing fee, I know that was a headache in terms of people to look at, and people thought it took resources. It didn't. So that one is solely for spam, and the 5% I'm happy with. if anything gets looked at next, I think it's going to be tokenomics like as a whole and not actually the fees. I think right now the fees are good enough personally.
Yeah, it seems like, to me as an outsider, it seems a bit like a fuss about nothing kind of thing. When I kind of look at it, I'm like, well, it's not like it's gigantic amounts of money or anything, but apparently it does actually like piss people off. It's go on, Signal, because I know you have collections on there, so we'll stick with you, buddy. What are we got to do to stop this conversation and get over it?
I don't believe that you can stop the conversation. I think that people are it's always going to be a discussion point if you have like small taxes here and there or small fees. It's just going to be something that people latch onto. I don't believe that it is actually what's I don't think it's actually interfering with anything on Stargaze personally. From a very broad perspective, I think you try to build the system so that it like at an early stage it maximizes the usability, makes it easier for users and creators. So plan things with that in mind. But I don't think if you're talking about like actually changing, by a few stars or whatever, it's going to make much of a tangible difference. And then otherwise, I agree with Sunnyside. It's just, if there is any question to be had, it's maybe a broader question about tokenomics, but I don't know what exactly the answer is to that at this point.
Well, that's actually perfect. You've finished off with that, because we do have one of our calls that's actually building an NFT marketplace right now and is about to launch the alpha on Friday. So, I'm coming over to you, Mol. Mol, did you guys look at the Stargaze model? Is it something when you were figuring out like the economics of the platform? Is it something you've looked at and went, well, we're going to change this, we're going to start from a different base, or what?
Yeah, to be entirely honest, what we did is we looked at different marketplace, and like, let's say we did a board with the many marketplaces, and we looked into like what was the tokenomics, what was the fees and stuff like that. And then we ended up like almost scratching everything, and we decided to go like, let's say, a very simple approach, and we're going to start on a very specific way. Like we said, there's going to be like a listing fee of 6.9 wawa, which is almost nothing. But like, it's something, I feel like the marketplace, when we're going to have it, it's going to move I think it's going to move faster than Stargaze. That's a fact, because if people are complaining about something and they don't like this, we can always change it pretty fast. But anyway, at the end of the day, like, one of the things we also consider, we were like, you remember back in the day when you were minting an NFT on Ethereum, it was costing you like $50 and even $100 for gas fees, but people were still minting. People were minting out, and that's it. So I don't know, man. I feel like even if you have like a small fee, let's say 50 cents, something like that, in my opinion, I feel like it should not be maybe a flat amount. Like us at the beginning is going to be a flat amount, but we're thinking more of maybe a very small percentage, something like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like if the amount is not too big, it should actually make sense, because if you want the marketplace to be viable and sustainable in the future, you need some fees. But the thing is, you need to also have enough value that's generated from these fees that goes back to the user, so they use your platform and they actually enjoy it. So I don't know. I feel like I'm always answering the question more of a general answer, but that's how I see it. Like, there's so many marketplaces where it's pretty expensive, like back in the days on Ethereum. So I feel like we actually need to create more intrinsic value for people to use it, and at the end of the day, they won't care about the fees. I feel like it's a very wrong question to answer.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, like, I don't mind the fees as long as I know where the fees is going and how it's being used. So let's say the fees for like Stargaze or some other NFT marketplace, a portion of that was used for marketing or onboarding new users from other ecosystems, or something tangible. I'm like, hey, I'm paying this fee, but I'm also going to see some return from it. I feel like a lot of times these fee stuff is sort of like a black box. I'm not sure where it's going, how it's being used. So the question of, is it too much, too little? It kind of feels weird. It's kind of hard to answer. So I feel like transparency and just figuring out how to properly use those fees. I think, if we had something like that, maybe people would feel more comfortable and sort of see the fees as an investment towards that platform and ecosystem.
Oh, yeah. And I can...
Exactly.
That one I can kind of comment on. Like, you can see where the fees go. It's just like, it's not public knowledge. It's hidden in a mere blog post I remember when I had to like write up the proposal for like reducing it from 10% to 5%. I had to ask because like the team wasn't always sure either. I got different answers from the team on where the fees went. I looked and it's like it goes half to the community pool and then half gets fair burned. And fair burn means partially burned, partially developer royalties, which are not always present. Long story short, the fees are like really problematic. They're not really like funding anything. They more so than anything could realistically just be removed and just axe it off of inflation, and a lot more people would be happier holding stars, I think.
I'll just jump there, and I just wanted to say I totally agree with what RISB said. Like, I feel like more transparency, but I agree with Bonzi that like I looked into the Stargaze fees and it's pretty transparent, but I feel like if it's going to be used for marketing and stuff like that, that could be also a good option. I don't know what. Maybe I'm just going to ask that question to everyone. Like, what do you think if Stargaze would use a part of the fees to actually do more marketing and more onboarding of new users? Would that actually make sense? So,
I mean, I think it definitely would. Yeah, to me, one of the things I would love to see in the future is I believe that Stargaze has the potential of being the NFT marketplace within Web3. So seeing more emphasis on, hey, can we list Ethereum NFTs on Stargaze at some point? Can we onboard users over where we pay the fee to bring Ethereum over and buy the NFTs or whatnot? Like, trying to figure out how we can, because right now I see Stargaze building out cool features and stuff for the IBC. Again, like, Cosmos is still a very small ecosystem versus what's out there. So having these fees towards either marketing or onboarding, new users from other ecosystems, I think that would go a long way. And I know this stuff is all transparent, but definitely having it somewhere directly on the site, like, hey, this is how the fees are used. This is how much you've accumulated. All that stuff goes a really long way for the average person.
Yeah, and I personally would love if it went to a marketing bucket, because like right now, if any marketing needs to be done, it needs to go through governance. And if you could sidestep governance, however that is, call it a new bucket. It's the marketing bucket that the team controls. I would love that, because like I there's a bunch of things that I want to put forth, but I can't put forth ideas when we're close to like doing our own collection. Because then, as I've found out, like if people don't like it, they will like unstake from you. They'll like sell. So it makes it like an even trickier situation. So yeah, if we could sidestep governance and accept the risk that you're going to have to delegate trust to like a group of people to handle the marketing fund, I would greatly prefer that option versus the current like setup with the community pool.
I mean, a lot of the Stargaze creators live in New York City. Could you imagine we see posters on the subway for like Sunnyside Reaper, and other amazing projects on Stargaze? Like, that would blow, people's mind. Like, I definitely agree. Having some dedicated, marketing budget that the team can use to their own discretion to help the ecosystem grow, I think would be a huge, step. Like, we need to get more normal people, like what the hell is Stargaze? Let me try to come and join this thing and find out more.
Right, and just doing something like free badges or free mints. So like you scan a QR code, right? You get Kepler, and then it's zero cost to get your first item on Stargaze. Just like small things like that would be like really cool. And I know grassroots marketing, it could be super like ineffective, but if somebody printed me at least like $30 worth of like sheets to put up, I usually just like go out on walks for fun. I do that all day anyway. Like it would just be more of like something for me to do more so than like I would not expect like anyone to pay me.
So guys, I was on a space last night actually with Archway. I've been actually getting like more and more impressed with our Archway team recently, and I had like a great interview with Alpha Growth last night. I highly recommend that people go back and listen to that, right? But they were talking about things like outposts and stuff, yeah? Like, there's going to be advantages of, say, like a Stargaze outpost on Archway, and people just using that, right? Has there been any talk, Bonzi, do you know, about the outposts? Because there's a couple of things related to outposts, right?
I haven't heard like a ton. Like, I can't get very detailed on them. I know what the concept is, and I don't know. I guess I would say this. I don't think I can add anything more than what most people here already know, or they might know more than I do.
I think for the app, I think for the outpost, they need ICS 720 to be live. I think like the interchain NFTs, if I'm not mistaken. So I think after that's done, the outpost should be live. Yeah. So I think that's the one thing I think they're waiting for. So I guess I'm right. Yeah. So
Archway was an interesting one, Jacob, because it sounded like they want people to like come to them, but they're not interested in going other places. If that's what I heard, right? I mean, it was late, but it was like they want to leverage people coming to them, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, like as long as Stargaze is everywhere, that's what matters. So if Stargaze can be an Archway and can be everywhere else, that's good for Stargaze and Stargaze older, I guess. Right.
Yeah, there's a little discussion about that little trio of Juno, Osmosis, and Stargaze being a nice little triangle when it comes to outposts. But I mean, so many people, so many big brains are excited about them. But I saw a poll by Migaloo yesterday, and it was like, where should we, if we're going to deploy on one of these, where should it be? Kujira, and I mean, I know Kujira is DeFi related, and obviously Stargaze NFT. And Migaloo, obviously a DeFi, yeah, but it was like nearly 600 votes, and it was like 70% that was for Kujira. I was a bit surprised. I thought it might have been a bit more balanced, no?
I guess with that, I mean, I actually talked to the guy from White Whale today and got a chat with them because I knew they were talking about Stargaze. Still getting information on that, but it's just got to be because like the kind of like DeFi aspect, that's got to be like the, I guess, wider appeal probably. That would be my assumption.
Yeah, the interest in there. I need to do more homework, on these outposts and exactly how they're going to be working and set up,
Wait, can you repeat the question? I wasn't following. My bad.
Oh, dude, it was just about the poll. Like, I was quite surprised that like Stargaze got thrashed in that Migaloo poll. But then again, Kujira's got like quite a big online following. But it was like a fair ratio of like 75% or something to have like the first Migaloo, well, which would be the first outpost on Migaloo. Actually, guys, that does lead me to something. There, apparently, I heard the other day that there are like multiple versions of the same marketplace coming to like, what is it, Luna, Juno, Migaloo, and Chihuahua. So I don't know if Mol knows about this. I only found out the other day. I think Pepe, you know him as well. Are you there, Pepe? Because I know you're working tonight. Yeah, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
No. Bare Bones. Is it Bare Bones Lab? Backbone Lab, right? The Gravedigger.
The guys, Skeleton Punks.
Yeah. Correct. Do you know much about it or not? Because there's going to be NFT marketplaces following the Gravedigger, isn't there?
I haven't followed that too much. I mean, I know after Nowhere closed their marketplace, they open sourced that. So I don't know if they just plan to like basically fork the code from Nowhere and launch everywhere, or what the deal is.
Look, Bonzi, I didn't even ask the questions about the marketplace. I did ask some things, obviously, because RAC are building, but is that right? Like following the Gravedigger is going to be a marketplace that will be deployed. So effectively, we're going to have a second marketplace quite quick on Huahua, from what I gather, right?
I've heard about that. I remember the Gravedigger. Like JG told me about that a while ago, and that was like part of the reason why I wanted NFT Switch on the platform. Was because it did add that DeFi aspect later on, but I haven't been like keeping up like 100% lately. I think what you said though is correct about the marketplaces.
Yeah, I mean the Gravedigger's actually on those chains deployed now, and I think he said the marketplaces were about like 2 to 3 weeks probably away. But that's quite an interesting one. I didn't even realize, if I'm right in thinking, guys, that you can actually like launch NFT collections with them. And then if like those NFTs are staked, like the creators are actually going to get fees back. They've got like quite an interesting like little economic model. I do need to do more homework on it because this was like just over a call, quite quick, But yeah, sounds pretty cool. Like, so Mol, looks like you're getting competition, yeah. Not that bothers you.
No, I mean, I feel like competition is a very good thing. At the end of the day, man, people are just using product that they like, and it's. I just feel like I said a bit earlier, given there's not that many people, not that many liquidity on Cosmos, it's. I always feel like when there's going to be something that's building, something that's similar to what you're building, it's going to be like competition, and okay, it's going to be rough. But at the end of the day, man, that's what happened in life. Like you open a restaurant and. Next thing you know, 2 weeks down, two streets down, there's still a new restaurant having competition with you. But if we have enough people, enough liquidity, at the end of the day, people are just going to use marketplace they like, and they can even trade NFTs on different marketplace, and that's it. But when there's not much liquidity and not many people, that's where it gets pretty rough. So we'll see, man. I feel like I just really like competition, because at the end of the day, people are just going to try to outsmart the other people and try to build new stuff. So it's always good, but when there's no people, it's just a bit rough, just a bit more rough.
Hey, Mol, if you don't mind, I'm guessing like these chads that we've got up on the stage, right? All creators, blah blah blah, right? I'm guessing that none of them have built. I know probably none of them have built a NFT marketplace from the ground up, right? RIZBE, I mean, if you had any questions about like, what it's like or the challenges, what have you got anything for Mol, yeah?
I was actually very curious to ask, like, out of all the things that the Raccoon team could have built, why don't you guys go with the NFT marketplace? Again, I'm glad you guys are doing it. I'm kind of curious, like, why that versus like something else on that chain?
Because like from the start, like our project was mainly oriented towards NFTs. And one of the things, well, maybe I'm the only one in the Raccoon supply team with just 2 people, but like I feel like the more, because we actually launched a game on Wawa which involved NFTs, and we basically like explored a bit more the NFT contract, and we were like, okay, so as of now we're using NFTs to do these kind of things, but it's going to be so much more than just pictures and you're just trading. Like for example, our game that we did on Wawa, like the NFT was changing on chain, and then we had some new ideas to basically like use new type of NFT contracts. So it was mainly the idea of why we decided to go down that path, and basically to also broader like what we're currently building. And the other thing was I think it's mostly like because we know what's going to happen within NFTs. I feel like as of now, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, but when people realize what everything is possible with NFTs, I don't know, I feel it's going to be even bigger.
I definitely feel like the market for like NFTs plus gaming is not being fully realized within Cosmos. I'm really glad that you guys are taking a stab at building out an NFT marketplace. I feel like in the future, you guys will be in a very good position to sort of tie that back into some DeFi, some gaming aspect or something that's going to make this marketplace stand out, let's say more than Stargaze or something else. But I'm hella excited, man. We have a collection ready to go called Gelato Dogs. So whenever you guys do launch, very excited to check it out.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that we've been approached by a couple of people to actually launch during when we do the alpha launch. But what we want to do is basically do the alpha launch on this Friday and see what happens, because it's only going to be like 50% of the features. Like you'll be able to buy some NFTs, but like the offers are not going to be there. There's going to be some sort of VIP system where the more you trade, the more you get token and you can get discounted fees. So not everything's going to be there, but we'll try to bring some sort of gamification when you actually buy and sell NFTs. So plus it's going to be on Wawa, and it's going to be like we're trying to like be in the hype and create a hype, and people, I really want to see like meme NFTs and people just having like these dogs NFTs like you just said. So I'm very excited about this.
One thing I hope you guys do, like for me, I always like the idea of like playing some type of game where NFTs get burnt. So if you guys are thinking about some gaming aspect of this NFT marketplace, I hope you guys consider something like that. Maybe you do something, and if you do it too much or too little, your NFT gets burnt. Something of that nature could definitely be fun. But man, this is just random question though. Is this the first open source project your team is working on, or have you guys done other open source things in the past?
And Mol, can you fix your mic? I'm getting a few DMs due to say your mic was very quiet, I think. Sorry.
I'm holding my phone like straight to my ear so I can hear him.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just try to put it on speaker just a second.
Or is it better now?
Oh, that's
100%.
perfect.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't remember what you just said, Rizbe, but yeah, so it's going to be the first open source project that we do within the Cosmos ecosystem, but it's not like for myself and Zapdos, it's not going to be our first open source project, let's say, but it's going to be the first time we open source our code for Cosmos, yeah.
Oh, I'm super excited to take a look. Once it's open source, hopefully we can open up some pull requests and have some fun features.
and that's the goal, man. I really like the idea was we just want to, like, with the alpha, we just want people to give us and the community all their ideas. Like, that's the plan, to just make it something that people will use and they just have fun with it. It's not just, we don't just want like the NFT marketplace to be a place where you trade your NFT and then you're out. So what if there's some sort of lottery and some sort of games that you can do with your NFT, and like you said, maybe burn NFTs, and like, I don't know, like it's going to be open, so we're open to any ideas and stuff like that.
The thing that I really like that you guys are doing is, like, when it comes to building any type of product, a lot of times people make too many assumptions, build up this grand product, throw it out there, and people are like, oh my God, I don't like this, or maybe I want X, maybe I want Y. I'm happy that you guys, like, basically, I'm so surprised that you guys are launching this alpha so soon. You guys are getting something early out, letting people give you feedback, and it sounds like you're going to use that feedback, basically build what the community wants, and this is the perfect way to build any product. So, like, I'm glad you guys are doing this, and can't wait to see what type of feedback and features people are going to request.
So, Jacob, Pepe, or Signal, or Sunnyside, anybody got any questions for Mol about building this? Anything you guys want to know?
Ooh, I'll hit you with a hard question. So one of my biggest complaints about Cosmos is the fragmentation of users and splitting them up into different markets. I think that's one of the reasons why, like, Cosmos as a whole, you know, the NFT space specifically struggles a bit, is because you got, you know, Stargaze, Omniflix, Territory, Hoppers, Talus. I feel like I'm missing one or two. Asset Mantle, if you want to count that. So my question to you is, why do we need a NFT marketplace on Hua Hua?
The real reason is the meme. Like, I don't know, for when the first time we released like Raccoon Bet on Wawa, like we've got welcomed so well. It was so fun to interact with the community on Chihuahua. We were like, okay, that's very fun. We're having fun there, and like us on Raccoon Supply, we do have a lot of meme coins in our portfolio. So we feel like there's so much potential on Wawa that's gonna happen. Plus, the thing is, it's like, if we compare, like, for sure, if we compare to, let's say, to marketplace on Juno or other permissionless places, I feel like Wawa is gonna be a bit similar, but like, that's the big differentiator. Sorry, I'm losing my words. Maybe a bit too much wine tonight, but basically, yeah, the idea is basically we really think that there's a lot of potential on Wawa, and it's permissionless. So that's mainly the reason why.
Okay, no, appreciate it. And the pesky permissionless, I know the struggles all too well.
Yeah, I feel like when I was speaking with EJ from Space Skellies and other project, they were saying like, we wish we could deploy more stuff in Stargaze. So.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard me on Artist Spaces, but like I've said before, like, that's why no one understands. Well, I should not say no one, but people don't understand why, like, NFT Switch needed to be approved. It kind of, you know, Stargaze shot themselves in the foot with just the perception that said after that. So I'm with you. I get you on that part.
Part of me definitely wonders the same exact thing. People are always kind of reinventing the same wheel, like, oh, I'm going to build a new DEX or NFT marketplace or some lending service. So like 50% of me like, wow, let's just go build something that doesn't exist. But the other side of me goes, like, we haven't figured out the perfect NFT formula or the perfect marketplace or all the perfect features. The fact that the Raccoon team is taking this on, they're going to bring their own inspiration, their own thoughts and whatnot. You know, maybe 10% of the marketplace is something different that people really love. If it works out or doesn't work out, maybe it'll inspire the next set of people to build something more cool. So I'm kind of happy we have all this competition. You know, with all of us competing, it kind of forces everyone to try to do their best and come up with some crazy ideas to try to like outdo each other, which is always awesome.
I like that, trying to outdo each other. That's the fucking key in this game, isn't it? That's what it's about, right? The teams in competition, but friendly competition, you know? I like it. I like this. I feel like Kofi Annan, you know, bringing Gelato and Raccoon together, man. It's amazing. And more. We made peace with Sen and big peace with Sen. That was amazing, I'll tell you. What a future lies ahead. Right, guys, I don't know if anyone else got a question for Mol there about the marketplace? Because we've got an Ambedo question coming in, our artist, right? And especially Mol, since you're building the marketplace, Ambedo's keeps talking about bundles, like NFT bundle features, where like you can sell one of your main NFTs, but then you could throw like some of your like lesser known or like lesser hot NFTs in, like just to sweeten the deal. Is that something like all NFT marketplaces should have?
So are you basically saying that we could do on the marketplace, let's say, instead of sell, because on the marketplace, like on the alpha version, you'll be able to list with Wawa, but like on the beta version, you're going to be able to list an Atom, Osmo, Juno, Well, anything. But what you're saying, it's one thing that we thought of. We never said it. But like, what if you could do offers with two NFTs? Like you're selling an NFT, but someone is offering you these two NFTs. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, or an NFT and money. Like I swapped that raccoon with Youngster, right? A one-on-one swap with the raccoon, but I had to put up, well, I didn't have to, but I put 100 in to sweeten the deal, right? 100 secret, yeah. Like the ability to be able to like mix and offer, whether that be like a couple of NFTs or maybe like, you know, a couple of NFTs, a little bit of cash to get a decent higher level rarity or whatever, yeah.
Exactly. And you know why we like it's not going to be part of the official release, like the first release that we're going to do, but it's definitely in the plans. And the reason why we want to do this, I don't know if you remember, but it's been a very while, like maybe not a year, but at least like 8 months that we discussed. We wanted to create something that swap me anything. So you just come up with like two NFTs and some tokens and you just want to swap it for another token. And this idea starts from there. And we want to implement it, but it's not going to be part of like the first release, that's for sure.
Yeah, you've from day one, I remember you've always wanted a pure 100% on-chain escrow contract, right? That's completely on-chain, yeah? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Because if I'm right in thinking, a lot of escrow stuff actually does get done off-chain. Is that correct?
I'd be curious. I remember, I don't know if you remember when EJ was talking about like there was a lot of Space Skellies being traded, like he was doing escrow and stuff. I know that for RAC, it was the case. I remember doing it like more than 15 times, but I'm curious with the guys that we have up here, like how often does it happen for your collections to actually be reached out by someone and asking for, can you do this trade for us? And it's actually happening like not on the marketplace.
Well, I think that is like pretty exclusive to like the largest of collections. Like that's never happened for us. I'll be pretty upfront about that. We are doing something with escrow, but it's related to the game and not actually like brokering sales OTC.
I actually escrowed myself the biggest ever rack trade, worth like what $2.5 at the time. Remember that one, Mol? That was back in the early days, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, dude, the amount of swapping was crazy. Sorry, Rizbe.
Also, one of the things I'd be curious to sort of see, maybe this exists within a Cosmos marketplace, NFT marketplace, but I don't know about. But before I came to Cosmos, I really liked this blockchain called Wax. They had amazing NFTs, stuff like Major League Baseball, Garbage Pail Kids, Godzilla, and they had the concept of you can buy packs of cards. So if I bought a pack of Godzilla card and opened it up, I got like 3 or 5 NFTs. Maybe some of them might be rare. That's something I really would like to see within Stargaze or somewhere else within Cosmos. Like maybe I want to build a NFT collection of cards or dogs or something, and people can open up like, oh, what did I get? So I'm not sure if you guys are planning on implementing something like that, but if that doesn't exist within Cosmos, like that would be super badass.
I was gonna say, did you guys see the idols one? Basically, you were able to mint some sort of bundle. I think there was like 4 different type of bundles, and I really like the idea. I would just like it to see like be more flexible. Let's say I want to buy 1 to 5 NFTs or buy 3 NFTs, but be sure that I get a rare one or like in the top 500 rank or something like that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they had that too. They had it. I think you needed to buy, I think the highest bundle for 100
is it 100 Juno, something like that, or 200 Juno? That one you get, I think you automatically get a rare one.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
Signal, you know more than me in that, but
Yeah, I think that it was like a little bit confusing because that was the major question that people had. They had like they had the mid-tier bundle, which guaranteed you one of each type, and then the lowest tier and the top tier. So the lowest tier bundle gave you the largest possible range from like common rarity to elite whatever rarity, and then the highest bundle guaranteed you wouldn't have like common rarity, but it also lowered the ceiling. You couldn't get the rarest one of all. But I think it was kind of an issue of it just not being clear on the kind of chart they put out and stuff. Just like a very basic communication thing.
Oh, so I guess two comments. First thing is like I think you can just do this right now. It just requires more effort from the creator versus being like a UI implementation. And then the second one is like kind of my own personal bias. Like the idea of packs, it's kind of the same idea of like NFT collections where it's, you know, you have to hold 5 for this benefit, or you want to have 10 for this benefit, right? It's just a different way of doing the same promotion kind of marketing thing. It's not inherently bad, but I don't think it's like super unique by any means.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking it would. I'm just thinking it would match like something like football stickers, right? When I was a young kid, yeah, we were like insane. Like when it was the World Cup, they'd have like the football stickers. I don't know. Do you guys like in the States and that? Did you ever collect them with a sticker book and you get every like team or whatever, or the Premier League?
Oh yeah, definitely.
People lose their minds. Like I would collect the NFTs to keep that as a souvenir. Like you get like the full team or something, and I would just keep hold of it. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like it's interesting. We've been enjoying the Trailer Park Kids, which is like a card collecting game. I don't know. It's fun, you know. It's stupid. It's silly. Like
right. So like if you think about like the Trailer Park Kids though, so like what makes purchasing a pack different than minting 5? That would be like my question.
I think it's the experience. Like it definitely has to do with the user experience. Like I play a lot of Hearthstone, for example, and when I buy a pack of cards, I can individually click it and be like, oh, which one did I get? And it just feels cooler. So yes, I could mint 5, but just the idea of like what kind of Robo was explaining. When I bought Pokemon cards back and I opened it up, very excited to see what 5 I got. So I think a lot of it has to do with the user experience and not necessarily like the blockchain tech side of it, which definitely is possible. So that's something I enjoyed in Wax, and I thought it'd be cool to eventually see something like that within Stargaze, Loop, or some other place.
Okay, no, that totally makes sense. I actually do understand what you're talking about, like the user experience. It's fun.
Yeah.
If you mint 5, it's not fun. But if you have like a pack, yeah, I follow.
Yeah,
Same
and
with
then
the
like
Trailer Park Kids. A lot of them are very similar. So imagine you bought 100 stars and you got like 3 Trailer Park Kids, and stuff like that. It's cool.
go on,
yeah,
Signal.
and it's about being able to, I think, for the user perspective, also just allow them to focus a little bit more on what they're buying. So it's just like saying, okay, I want to pay a small premium to guarantee that I won't get common rarity. And I guess in the Stargaze it would be something like nothing below, like everything above, you know what I mean? Like cut out the bottom 1,000 out of a 10,000 collection or something, or otherwise say, okay, I want to buy that excludes or includes these certain traits. So if it was like some collection that's based on like, I don't know, fire, wind, and water, it's like, okay, I just want to buy water guys, this kind of thing. And then you would just be able to like price each option accordingly, given how it would like affect the rarity of just buying anything.
That kind of sounds really complex. Like for me, if it's like a simple price for all the packs, seems kind of good enough, but definitely could be cool if you could pay a premium to like get better ones potentially.
Well, I'm describing it in its entirety, so maybe it sounds complex, but actually it would be really easy to do on the front end. I think you would just have like, in that example, you just have like fire pack, water pack. In the back end, you'd just have it like only accessing a certain set of traits, Yeah,
no, I follow. And there's like hack job ways you could go around it too, right? You could have different collections made for like different packs being purchased. where like, hey, if you decide to pick the fire pack, it's going to pull from collection 5, which is only fire traits, right? So it's kind of like an inventory almost. That's like a less beautiful way to do it, I guess, so to speak, but like a more cutthroat way that you could do it that doesn't hurt the UX on that.
Is that, Bonzi, is that related to like custom minters and stuff that I keep hearing about? That
yeah,
topics a minute, yeah.
I'm trying to get someone to build them. I tried to get Moltres interested into it, but like
he's got weekends free. Don't worry, he's got weekends free. He's on 7 days a week at the minute. He's got tasks for this weekend anyway.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. There's the developer royalties, and as long as whoever is interested is okay with accepting that there's going to be some governance headaches, like I promise you, I'll get you funding to make that on top of the developer royalties and push that through governance. Like it's one of those things where it's worth it. Like I will fight with the validators and the DMs to try to get that thing passed. Because like if we can get an open edition of Minter, that is easily worth 10 to 20 grand plus developer royalties forever. Why? Because it's popular and people like it. Like, so that I'm throwing it out there for anyone who can do it. I will help you push it through governance. You just have to be aware that your name might get thrown around a bit for a week or 3 days. It's 3 days it'll get thrown around. But most people will blame me because I'll be the guy who puts the prop up.
There you go, Mol. Challenge accepted, eh?
Yeah, we actually spoke about this, and like at first we were like, okay, we can do it, but we were like, what if it takes a bit more time and like we don't have as much time as we wanted to build a marketplace? So what, like for now, we already have like maybe 2 minters that are working pretty well. So what I said to Bunzi, we're like, okay, if we are able to build that type of minter, we're gonna open source it, and that's it. So.
Interesting. Free alpha for those in the audience. See, this is why you come to the NFT Roundtable, eh? Even though we are missing somebody, it's a fucking fantastic show tonight. Guys, there's a lot of like Cosmos stuff, you know, we can talk about all day long. But I don't think it'd be an NFT Roundtable if we didn't bring up the subject of ordinals. Because I went down the rabbit hole yesterday and I'm like, oh my fucking God. Dropped straight in Mol's DMs and I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck? Like, so, I mean, this thing's just kind of exploded. I've been following the Udi stuff and the Frank D. Gods, etc. What's going on? Did anyone expect this? I mean, Skellies are having a roaring success. Are any of you guys, like, looking at it? So, like, RizBe, do you want any other questions you want to add about ordinals to these lot? And then we'll come back to, like, you and I at the end or something, yeah?
No question about ordinals, but I'm definitely super excited about it. Curious to see what other people think. Like, we're already launching a couple of collections stealthily on ordinals or inscribing some NFTs there. But yeah, it's the future. It's exciting to see so many different Cosmos projects already doing that. So curious if anyone else here is already inscribing stuff on BTC.
In my opinion, something like Signal would be a fantastic like one, like given their little like background and everything. Have you thought about it, Signal? Have you? Because when I thought about ordinals, I thought about you straight away.
Yeah, no, I have been looking into it, and it's actually funny. Like, it's the kind of thing that when were they first like coming around? Was it almost 2 months ago or something? It's the kind of thing that I was looking at then, and I was like, oh, this is cool, and it'll probably be really popular. And then I've just been kind of slow to follow up, you know. So it's it's definitely interesting. I played around a little bit like with the wallets and how to create them and things like that. Not sure exactly what we'll do though.
To me, the reason why I feel like the bull market might be coming around soon is for the longest time, I have a cold wallet. All my Bitcoin just goes into it. I never take anything out. I'm just like, hey, maybe when I'm an old man one day, I'll use this Bitcoin for something. But for the first time in my life, I think it was almost like a month ago, I set up a Bitcoin full node. I was like, hey, let me inscribe some NFTs. My first one I did, I fucked up, paid like almost like $100+ in gas to do it. But it was like such a fun experience. Like, damn, this feels like Bitcoin feels like it's getting interesting. So the fact that so many other people, like if you take a look at the mempool and Bitcoin, it's like fucking crazy high because like everyone's trying to do it. And to me, regardless of what other chains will become big in the future, Bitcoin to me will always be around. So to have a piece of your NFT or part of your organization inscribed on a Satoshi, like that's like everyone should be doing this.
Yes, I agree with you, RISBE, 100%. Right, I'm really glad you said that because I think every NFT project should have them. Yeah, every NFT project. I think it should be standard for everybody to think that way.
So I'll come at this from a different angle. The first thing I'll say is I'm accepting that it's going to be big and that by me not being involved in it, that is a mistake and like it's lost money. At a conceptual level, I think it's really dumb. It's really slow. It's like, if I remember right, the files aren't actually hosted there. I personally think it's pointless, but I'm also saying that as somebody who understands that I will miss out for having that stance and not being involved in it.
That's okay. Bias is accepted. What do you think, guys? Any opinions? I know Pepe is busy working if he wants to jump in at any time.
I feel like I'm on your side, guys, RISBE and Robo, that everyone should be there, to be honest. But I also agree with Bunzi, like, are these, I don't know. Again, it's a hype. And again, like, it's going to cost a lot of money to be there, to trade there. And it's not even a problem if we're doing like a parallel with what we were discussing about Stargaze fees and stuff like that. People are going to pay the fees if they want an NFT on BTC. That's for sure. But I'm not like, it's for sure it's going to happen for us at some point, but I'm not quite convinced if it's actually like worth it on the tech side. Like, what's the point? But still, I feel that we should be there. So I'm debating, I'm like 50-50, let's say.
Go on, Signal.
I was kind of wondering, like, I think a lot of collections are doing it where, like, if you burn one on this side and then you pay, then they'll help you inscript that same one in Bitcoin. Am I right on that?
I feel like you can definitely do it that way. Like, one of the projects we're doing is we are burning some stuff from Stargaze and moving it to BTC, but then we're also throwing new collections out there. Like, for example, we created this collection called Monster del Gelato, launched on Tory, little monster ice creams. People love the shit out of it. So we're kind of just doing like a sequel to it on BTC, fully redesigned, more for that chain. So I think it can go both ways. You can either move stuff over by burning it or just create a whole new thing on there as well.
Plus, I think we should never like constrain ourselves to remain on one place and be centralized. Like, I know it takes a lot of time to be on many different chains, but if you want to grow your project and have different kind of people, and basically when you go on other chains, you're going to see some different people, different ideas, which is going to be helpful at the end of the day. So I agree with that maybe we should be everywhere at the end of the day, but we don't have all the time in the world, but still.
I feel like a lot of projects need to stop seeing themselves as, hey, I'm a Osmo project or Juno project or Archway project. Every project to me is basically like a business. And like any business, you got to go into different countries, different region. Like, this stuff is never easy, but it's worth doing. You know, as you got to sort of expand. So some people may not want to do it right now, but I do think the long-term success for any true project / business within Web3 is going to be multi-chain. It is going to be all parts of Web3 and not just this tiny little slice, you know, within Cosmos.
I might be getting rugged. My microphone was sticking there. There might be people like in the audience who might not have like a complete, I mean, we've got an educated audience, but a few maybe new people in, you know, that might not understand like ordinals. I don't know how you guys describe them, but I heard an analogy about like an NFT being like a Monet kind of thing, right? A true NFT. You can relate it to something like a Monet painting, right? But like the ordinals are like if you got a dollar bill, right? Which obviously there's millions and millions and millions, billions of them, trillions in circulation, whatever, right? It's like you got a dollar bill and then Monet kind of like drew a little picture of a fucking stick house or something or a stick man on it, right? And signed it like Monet. That's basically the difference between a true NFT and an ordinal, right? And I was thinking, it reminds me of Gary V's napkins. Can you remember that? You know, when Gary V did the napkin drawings and they're sold for like ridiculous money. Wasn't it napkins he did it on and turned them into like NFTs or something, right?
I think I vaguely remember something like that.
Well, the fucking napkin was worthless, wasn't it? It's just the fact that he'd like drawn on it kind of thing that like gave it that value, right? because they're not programmable or anything. Like they don't do anything, right? It's just a piece of history.
I feel like in this case, it's the other way around. It's like Bitcoin to us has all this value because all the things they could do currently and in the future. And now you're able to inscribe some random piece of information onto like a Satoshi. So yeah, it's basically taking a dollar bill, drawing a little, picture on it. And depending on what dollar bill number you got or who the artist is, that gives that dollar bill even more of a value than it currently has.
They're an interesting one, mind. I've seen the success of like some projects and stuff like Skellies, and I'm like, fuck, we've got to do something. Like the raccoons, like have to make their mark somehow. Like I'll just have to persuade Mol one way or another.
You know who's killing it in ordinals within Cosmos? Stargaze Kingdom. I don't know if you guys track the ordinal like seller Twitter account, but they're constantly selling those skeleton gifts they have. They look so incredible. And when you because when you inscribe something, you want to try to make your file as low as possible to keep the gas small. So like their stuff looks a little grainy. It looks really awesome. They're killing it. And I hope they continue to make cool stuff on BTC.
I'll have to have a look at that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I've been following them. They're doing a pretty good job. And then I think Maria with Women from Cosmos has a few as well. I'm not sure how active they are on it yet though.
She must be making a fortune, eh? Like I looked at the floor price the other day. I was like, what? Doing really well. Her just crushing it, right? Signals the big fanboy there, right? Great. Yeah. Hey.
I think she's a good artist. And I don't know. I think that kids. Well, the thing is with the floor price for limited collections is sometimes deceiving because I think she just made a sale of one of those big ones, like the first sale in like 6 months. So a lot of the time when you have a limited collection, people just put it up for very high, and there's not any actual movement. You know what I mean? Because you have like a core group that like your art and they want to hold on to it.
Well, talking about this with projects, I don't know about you guys, but some of us are in disbelief at just how, and I want to mention like 2 projects in particular that have been out recently, right? Will be the Pixel Wizards and the Meme Ducks. What's the secret sauce to these projects like hitting and just going fucking viral? I mean, I think the Meme Ducks is only about 100 supply or something, and the right people were on the whitelists, I think, and there was a lot of pump, right? I mean, is it like just crypto Twitter? Is that the thing that can send your project, or does that have to be a little bit more behind it? I mean, Signal, I know you've been a big fan of the Pixel Wizards and stuff. We'll go to you first. What's it taking to go fucking these projects to go viral?
Based on that, I guess just doing pixel art is, but I don't know. I think that if it's like they capture a bit of fun as well as, well, okay, Pixel Wizards is like, they have some new kind of functionality to them. People that haven't seen like kind of basically HTML NFTs before on Stargaze, right? So there's a lot of novelty there. And then the ducks are just like, it's like a fun little meme. The art is good. It's like nice pixel art. It looks like, I don't know if you played the game Duck Game. Looks very, very similar to that.
Yeah. They used to be on the SNES, like the Duck Hunt or something. Are you talking about?
No, there was a more recent one on PC. It's called Duck Game. It looks quite a bit like that, but it's this, it's this kind of fun style. I think that's all you really need.
Tongue in cheek. I think, you're right though, right? The biggest lesson I think over the last 2 years I've learned in all of crypto is do not fade like the meme. I've done it so many times and it's cost me so much bloody money, Never again, yeah? Don't fade the meme. I mean, we've seen a few projects go viral. What do you think, Mo? What does it take? You guys build a big community quickly.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what's the magic sauce, let's say. But if we look at Pixel Wizards and Meme Ducks, like Pixel Wizards, I minted them because, I don't know, I really liked the art first. But like what they did with like, you can basically interact with them because it's basically like you have CSS and JavaScript to basically like have the price of Bitcoin and just make them move. So this was like a big innovation. I think they're not done because like there's so many people that are going to do this. That's for sure. I don't know. Well, in my opinion, but the secret sauce to go viral, I have no idea. I feel like it's just
it's just a bit of luck and just people liking what you do, and I don't know.
Anybody
At
who's
least with the at least for the meme duck, to me, a lot of times, like, I buy NFTs because of the feelings they invoke, not necessarily the utility. I just naturally assume most projects that promise utility won't show anything. So when I first saw the meme ducks, I didn't get a chance to mint them, but I saw them on the marketplace. I saw so many of my characters that I love from my childhood, like Adventure Time, Spider-Man, and just the way they made me feel like, oh shit, I just started buying them like crazy. Same thing for Sunnyside Eternal. Just the art itself spoke to me so much. Like, I'm into the shit ton of those as well too. So I don't know. Meme Ducks definitely did a great job capturing all like the amazing, iconic characters of like the 90s and early 2000s. They fucking killed it.
Yeah, there's something playful about it, isn't it? Like, even me there, when I was talking about the football stickers, I was like, reliving my childhood. Like, yeah, when I see these pixel wizards and things, it reminds me like of the early Mario Brothers and that on like the SNES and shit. Remember the Super Nintendo, the SNES? Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, it probably reminds me of like old school vibes, and I think everybody kind of likes that. Like,
sometimes simple and stupid is the best way to go. Some stuff like Meme Duck, it seems relatively easy to get, and that's what I like about it. It's kind of like mindless, fun art. It's not really you don't have to think about it a lot, which is great.
those are perfect as ordinals, and so I know that the meme ducks are doing ordinals, right? And they're not doing that many, I think. But you've got to hold 3 ducks to be able to get the ordinal. And I think you're going to get the ordinal for free, I think it is, or you pay the gas or whatever. I'm sure they're not going to charge us something. Does anybody know about that?
Not that I know of, but I do think like Pixel Wizards and Meme Ducks, like their viral part. I think Bernie from Pixel Wizards, his is more just based on like effort put in. Like I think he was much more deserving of it, I would say.
Yeah, that's very true. He's like super active. He's everywhere. And obviously spent an incredible amount of time on that collection.
Well, it's quite interesting because hasn't Udi got the collection of wizards, right? The Taproot wizards or something, isn't it? It's been like one of the biggest collections, I think, on ordinals, right?
I don't know. I legitimately don't follow ordinals. I'm pretty worthless when it comes to that kind of info.
Is this AJ? Do we have AJ in the room on the account? Let's see if it is, because this is the man to talk about ordinals. I tell you, I'd love to hear a little bit about the journey. I'm presuming it's AJ. I hope it is. No B-bands. Yeah, AJ, if you can come up, buddy, that would be fantastic. But I just think if the Wizards got on, that would be a roaring success, just given the fact that, like you know what it's like. There's always a secondary, not copy pasta project, but something, similar that comes along and, does quite well based on the previous project history, right? Right, how many topics are we going through today? What's the time like, guys? Because look, fucking hell, hour and 20. Jesus, these conversations fly by. Let's have a little reset, see if we can get AJ up. RISBE, first NFT Roundtable up here. Being a co-host, dude, you enjoying yourself? Is it what you expected?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the amount of amazing speakers we have here. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's been nice just shooting the shit and hearing interesting stuff from, all these amazing community leaders.
Oh, mate, it's classic. It's one of probably my favourite show. We're hopefully going to do a DeFi one. Sen and Don have committed to do one a month. Hopefully we're going to be able to pick that up, yeah. But RAC FM and Gelato have got some plans for the upcoming future, dude, haven't we? We'll announce it in time.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait, man. I feel like ice cream. I feel like whenever raccoons are hanging out in garbages, they're looking for ice cream. Everyone knows this. So the fact that ice cream and raccoons are teaming up, may have started out a little rocky, but I think it was inevitable for sure.
Well, you're bringing me kind of late to the next topic. I am, I think, overly bullish on NFTs. I'm worried in case because I've been flipping them for nearly a year now, done very well. What I'm worried, guys, is I'm starting to see a big emergence of whatever you want to call it, DeFi 3.0 or whatever, right? We're seeing all of the arbitrum and optimism kick off, right? Does anybody think that we're going to see, a DeFi summer again, right? Do we think that we might lose capital to traditional DeFi from NFTs? Because we saw a migration during the winter. The dark times, money flew over to NFTs. We saw ridiculous pumps, right? Bad kids from $3,000 or whatever, right? So yeah, Rizbe, I don't know if you want to add to that before we bring in these, but I'm a little bit worried that we might be getting lulled into a false sense of security with NFTs, and then a lot of capital is going to fly out, and we might be stranded.
I feel like maybe in the short term, but if you take a look at what are the components that made Internet 1.0 blow up, even 2.0, it's always been gaming, sex, and drugs. These are the things that basically get people to jump on the internet, build cool shit. It kind of helps propel things forward. I think right now where we are with NFT is a bunch of cool art, some utility, but I think in the future when we start having people integrate them more into games, like imagine playing World of Warcraft. Like I played that game for so long, spent so much money, but all the stuff that I've earned in that game is basically lost now. I can't do anything with it. But if we can get that stuff on chain in the future, and then even if I'm not playing World of Warcraft anymore, but I have this rare mount that I can trade, that's going to be a shit ton of value. So once we see more of the gaming world and NFTs merge together, which I think will happen during the next cycle, I think NFTs will go even higher. You know, maybe even beating DeFi out, because at the end of the day, people go to DeFi to make money, but everyone just loves playing game. It's relaxing. It's something that's addicting. So short-term pains, but I do think long-term NFTs will do very well.
And I'll add to that. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I think it's Unity that now includes MetaMask inside their games. So imagine how easy it would be if you see MetaMask pop in your game and you just accept something. You receive a sword in WoW, and that's it. Imagine how easy that would be, and that's what they're building. It's pretty amazing.
And I think that like a lot of when you talk about DeFi and gaming, like I do think you can view all of crypto as like a game. And I mean, I think social media in general is like in a way is a game where like we're playing a persona here. This is all like one small facet of our lives that's like abstracted from our real life. And so NFTs play a huge role in that in terms of the social capital they provide for like the networks that you're connected to, the information you get to like succeed in DeFi and things like that. And then also, those connections. And then, I think it's just like, I think people do just interact with all of crypto as a kind of game. So I think the NFTs will always play a really big role in that because of the visual component and also the utility. It can easily be plugged into any kind of system.
Sunnyside, you got anything? And we'll welcome AJ as well. Sunnyside, you want to jump in there quickly?
Yeah, for the DeFi and NFTs, I mean, I can like picture things in my head where they like go together or they compete together. But like the amount that it would take to build that and to like put together like a coherent thought is like above my pay grade. Before it goes to EJ, I just want to apologize again. I did try to hop on the space. After I got kicked, I couldn't see your guys' space anymore. I had to downgrade the Twitter app with help from Robo to be able to speak on this one. So I just want to apologize. I did not miss that. That was literally just me shouting at my computer for like an hour.
Hey, man, it's all good. Sorry, I'm actually eating at the same time. But Bands is like, I think we kicked him and he's mad now. I was like, I don't think he's mad. But it's all, I saw Twitter's been having a lot of issues. Do you have an Android?
Of course. Android with the latest version of Twitter, which is a bad combo.
Yeah, I think that's what people were saying is like we had spaces yesterday or a few days ago and nobody could join. And nobody realized they couldn't host either if they had an Android. So it's been an interesting week. I don't know. Don't know why all of a sudden it happened. I don't keep up to date on Twitter that much. So I'm assuming there was an update and something happened.
Yeah, exactly. Twitter basically did an update and it's just screwed everybody. Absolutely. There's like several kinds of problems. The worst one is if you request or they send you a request, they'll say you're a speaker and then bang, you bounce out and you're back down to a listener and you just cannot get up. That's the most common problem I've heard. The other one is you'll get, as a listener, you'll get 5 seconds of sound and it'll cut out, and then 5 seconds of sound and it cuts out. I actually, just for listening purposes, I downloaded, until we found a fix of that, the APK, the one that worked, I just downloaded Twitter Lite. I heard in some countries, it's not available, but you can get the APK and download it easily. But actually, Twitter Lite's really, really good, guys, especially if you're like going out and you just want to like listen in. because you can't speak on those spaces, but you can listen. Same as like a PC. Your functions are quite limited, but it's all right. Like it's champion for posts and shit like that. Right, EJ, you've come at the right time because we moved from ordinals to a bit of a macro thing. So we'll jump in on the macro one, right? And then I'd really like, I've waited to mention ordinals. And we just like mentioned it, dude, but you were in, the front of my mind. So EJ, do you think there's going to be a flight of capital from NFTs maybe into like another DeFi summer or not?
Honestly, I do not know. I know from, first off, I love hearing the birds in the background. That's very nice. But as far as DeFi and everything going on, it's hard to say because I feel like the market is too good to be true right now. You just look across, we run a large construction industry, or we run a construction company. And in the construction industry, things have slowed down, not just from products and everything starting to get cheaper again, but now you have sales that have started to slow down. So I think right now we have like a lot of lagging indicators. And I don't think you can like forecast that things will change. I think at this rate, if things would continue, absolutely. I think people will. I already know a lot of people that have went into the LP farming and staking and all that DeFi. They've just been offloading NFTs. And they're like, man, look at these returns. And I'm like, do you realize 99% of those pools go to zero? Like, you need to be very, very cautious. But I don't know. I think it's always good to plan ahead and be ahead of the curve for once. Because usually if you get into a lot of those pools or the high stake farming and you've waited, it's too late. Like you are going to be the people that, if there's a bonding period or 24, 32 cycles, depending on what you're using. Like a really popular one right now is STX and Alex. It's a pool. So STX and Alex. And then there's Bitcoin and Alex and all these other, because they reward you in the Alex token, or they'll reward you in STX or in Bitcoin, or some of them had dual rewards. And right now people are getting extreme returns. And just about a month ago, people were farming STX like crazy. And then it just went, 80% or 100x or 100%, like in 4 days or something crazy. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that I feel that there is a lot more liquid flowing into crypto. It was kind of like, if you really think about it, after that DPEG happened, we've not really been anything except up for a bit. I mean, it's kind of crazy to really think about that, because I know it kicks some old PTSD of Terra days in my head when I was sitting there watching that DPEG. But yeah, I think it's just good. Plan ahead, diversify your portfolio, never be over leveraged in NFTs and vice versa. And just, there's always, allocate 5, 10, 15% of whatever you have and put that into DeFi if you know what you're doing. Now, if you don't know how to do anything with DeFi, then don't get into it because you'll probably lose all your money. And then you have to take into consideration impermanent loss and everything when you're getting into the DeFi. A lot of people don't discuss that. They don't go the next step. And they, to the average user, they're just like, oh, they see the percent return. And then they don't understand why the returns don't match up with, ABC. But that's really my only input on that. I think with the liquid flowing the way it is, I think we could see a huge summer, a freaking amazing summer. But if I want to be real and based off lagging indicators, I would say we see another leg down. I don't think we'll go like collapse or anything wild, but I don't think we're past that point yet where I would say it's all just heads down, let's go. I still think people need to have a little caution, have a little extra liquid set to the side to buy back and DCA when you're at a good area of support. But yeah, that's my input, and my opinion is different than somebody else's, but that's what I got to say.
That's all right, dude. We've missed you today. We love you to bits, man. Dude, I just want to ask a quick one then for you to follow up on that. What kind of percentage of a portfolio, right? Let's say someone's got, I don't know, 10K portfolio, right, that they play around with, yeah? I mean, what would you think is like a reasonable, respectable amount to have in NFTs versus like DeFi and then stables?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll just take our treasury, for instance. We won't put how much is in the treasury, but we have about 40% of that in stables still right now that are tightly monitored. Like during the DPEG, we were moving things left and right. And then the rest is, I think we have, when I talked with Saber the other day, we have 40 in stables, and then we had about 35 in NFTs that we were offloading. And then, well, not offloading everything, but we had got significant returns on most of them. And then the rest was in Bitcoin. That's where we had everything. We got in, thankfully, before Bitcoin had the run up, because during the little DPEG, we have always thought Bitcoin was just store of value, quote unquote, right? But that, it's really, that's how we play. We're pretty, Saber helps me with a lot with investing as far as with our treasury funds and everything along those lines. And yeah, we run things by the team, but we're pretty both on the same page that we still feel there's going to be a little bit more pullback. But that's where we're at. Now, if it was full on, like full blown, let's go, we always want to have 20 to 30% of something in stables or something that's like straight liquid that we can get our hands on. So whether or not it was, everything, like I said, it's heads down, let's go. We would always say 20 to 30 in something that's going to hold pretty good value. Stables, you can say, are stable coins, but you still need to monitor them. Sad to say, but you still have to. And hopefully that kind of helps. We're pretty risk off right now. And we keep buying at support levels whenever Bitcoin's pushing back down a little bit, when it's withdrawing or retracing. And yeah, that's really the ins and outs. But Saber does help me a lot with winning, because I can't sit and monitor charts as much and as often. And Saber does a great job of going through the crypto market and really staying up to speed.
Very nice, guys. That's so interesting in mind. I don't know if anyone else is managing treasuries like in a similar kind of vein or fashion. Jacob or Sonny, any of you guys managing treasuries like that?
Before we move on, I just want to say I got a drop off the call. I'm waking up in not even 6 hours, so I got to grab some sleep. I just want to say that it was a very fun space and enjoy speaking with you guys. But yeah, have fun with the rest of the call. Love you guys.
Take care, brother. I love you to bits, right? We'll speak soon. Oh, he's lovely, isn't he?
Of course.
Oh, I could cuddle him in a shoe. I could put him in a shoebox and put a little blanket over him and just rub his little cheeks before he goes to sleep, I love him that much. My shoebox is empty, don't you? Since Rama left me, my shoebox is empty. I'm dead sad. Never mind. Hey, Signal, have you got a treasury, Signal?
I will say, yeah, I will always say Moltres is like the nicest guy ever I talked to across the whole ecosystem for a long time, since RAC first started, and I was like doing some due diligence on them. He's an awesome guy. Yeah, we do manage our treasury. Yeah, like we've moved things into stables periodically. Like we did a little bit back. So for stuff we sell on Stargaze, all of that, all of that we stake as part of like the platform commitment, and then what we do is we manage any like staking rewards or things like that. Sometimes we'll pick up stuff for other collections, but then we also have the Signal token as well, which we did like we launched and had like a run up for a while early in the summer, and so we like moved some of that into stables at that point, and then use some of that to kind of like balance or to kind of stabilize our treasury as like things as Juno and other tokens declined over the fall. We also have like a treasury of NFTs from other projects that we buy, and then like half of that is projects that we just like that we want to support, and then the other half of that is like strategic. So we're trying to build, obviously like Owlies are like the main guys for that, is like trying to build a huge vault. But we try to do a little bit of that because I think it is a very good hedge against stars. If like us, we're like extremely exposed to stars because we stake everything.
Yeah, and I do want to say staking is important as well. That's something that we've never touched. And I think a lot of projects definitely would agree with that, having something staked and supporting the platform wherever you're at, always continuing to stake what you can and just let it grow. And like for our staking, we actually take our rewards and give them to our holders. So our staking is usually right around like 300 to 320,000 tokens. And then we just continue to give rewards based off of that. I think we have like 315,000 if I'm right. And then whatever that grows to throughout the month, we just kick it to the holders. And so that will literally never change, just based off the price of stars. That's the only way it would change.
RIZBE, any questions about managing treasuries or any encounters?
No, I definitely agree with Space Skellies in terms of their breakdown. For the gelato treasury, we have about 40% in IBC baskets like Atom, Juno, Osmo. We have about 30% in Bitcoin, and the rest of it sort of sitting in NFTs. So definitely agree. Keep an eye on it. Market's moving. You definitely don't want to, have all your assets in something super risky. But yeah, definitely a good breakdown.
Talk about risky. We've got a risky topic coming up, haven't we? I tell you what though, before we go on, AJ, can we just reach out to you, buddy, and just ask you about your little journey or whatever with like ordinals? Is there any advice there you would give people? Because I just was checking you guys out yesterday, and it looks like it's a roaring success, right? Have you had fun doing it? Has it been a challenge? What can you tell us?
Yeah, for sure. It's been a journey. Thankfully, we hopped in, excuse me, pretty early. Or we like sub 150, not too early, but yeah, right around before things picked up, sub 150. And all of them, we let holders customize and we just inscribe them as we go. And one other thing we've been doing is we have auctions within our Discord. So some I will pull from the treasury and I'll just auction them off, and we cover inscription cost. And if you win the auction, we'll let you change 1 to 2 traits. Maybe even into a Bitcoin trait. So if you want an auction and you wanted to have like some Bitcoin eyes or a Bitcoin t-shirt or something, we will let you swap that out. But as far as like the journey to start, yeah, I made some expensive mistakes, to say the least, on the first few. And then I quickly learned a little bit more of how things are supposed to be done. And it's been great. We actually have been talking with Magic Eden, and then Magic Eden released today their ordinals. Our collection will go live on Magic Eden as well for the Bitcoin ordinals. And then we have a collection on Ordinals Wallet, of course, the main website, the main site for everything. And we've had a few sales, nothing going too crazy at the moment, but we are working with I just talked with Scooby from Baddies vs. Goodies, and we're going to do a little bit of something coming up. We're not quite sure exactly, but we're throwing some ideas back and forth. And then for the ordinals, we're going to start giving them some incentives within our staking DApp as well. And then maybe an STX collection airdrop coming up as well, because STX is one of the first things you'll be introduced into when you get into Bitcoin ordinals. And that's kind of the layer that people will go to. They are different. It's just like, I would say, keep it simple. It's like Stargaze, STXs, but the ordinals are obviously slightly different. And now with ordinals taking off so quickly, they have just gone unreal. The price to inscribe an NFT has tripled. We were inscribing NFTs for, we do high res and we keep them over 700 pixels, 700 by 700, and then we do PNGs. So they're pretty big files or pretty big sizes. And then everyone else is doing, like, if you guys saw the DGODs went crazy, but the DGODs did a bulk inscription and the images look garbage. They look terrible. But DGODs doesn't matter. They're a brand, right? Like, you could literally have an eyeball and people would still spend $20,000 on it. But my point being is now you have to pay more, and it is becoming, once again, a gas issue. Like these fees are getting crazy. And if you don't pay more money during the inscription, because they give you levels anywhere from low, medium, high, and custom, if you don't pay higher fees, then the miners literally just ignore your inscription. When you inscribe it and broadcast it to the network, they just skip your inscription because you didn't, quote unquote, you're not the highest bidder, if that makes sense. But as far as the whole process, it's been great. It's a lot to learn. I think this opens up, like I've told everyone that it buys a Bitcoin ordinal, I tell them straight up, we don't know if this will ever become anything. We don't. But for once, we learned and we got out ahead of things very quickly. And, we're going to continue to give back to you guys for just trusting us. And so far, it's been great. And the most important thing is it really forced us to learn something very quickly, because we had to dig in and learn, because every day there were thousands of inscriptions just flying. And so for instance, if you had you were at 100,000, inscription number, if you waited 1 day or 2 days, you might be over 125K. And one of the biggest things is that the lower the inscription number is, quote unquote, the more valuable, because they call them artifacts. Everyone, at the end of the day, they're just, they're inscribed on sats. Like that's what they're inscribed on. And you can go and see which inscription or which block everything is put into. I'm just trying to keep it very simple, that what block holds your NFT and what sat holds your NFT. It's pretty unique. Like you can go all the way back. Some of these sats were early to 2000. I don't even remember the lowest one. I think Saber showed me, it was 2018, 2017, something that we saw. And then we saw some even way sooner. But these are things I'm learning. Like I didn't even know. She's like, no, you can go to this link and then click here, and then you can see all this data. And I was like, whoa, that's actually really unique. But anyways, that's me rambling. It's just been a really cool journey. Do they become anything? I don't know. But does this open up avenues for Bitcoin to explore? I think yes. And I think people are quickly seeing that. Because one of the biggest store of values, that's what Bitcoin used to be, right? Like Bitcoin was first designed for peer-to-peer transaction. Like instead of using cash, peer-to-peer Bitcoin transaction. That was the thing. And then it became, everyone was saying, oh, it's a store of value. Don't buy gold, buy Bitcoin. Okay, that's cool. But now it's like, okay, these actually exist in the block. They're in the blocks. They're not just on chain. They don't just exist on a layer. So it's very unique. They are immutable, meaning they cannot be changed. If you mess anything up, that's too bad. And I definitely learned that. Don't mess up. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Like it just says everything. It's a great learning experience, and the community has just loved it. And at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? So we're excited, and just keep doing what we can.
Dude, you're one of the roaring successes of Cosmos and Ordinals, in my opinion. Like when I did a deep dive on you guys yesterday in the Ordinal stuff, and I was just blown away. And RizBe was talking about another project earlier as well, weren't you, RizBe, that's been quite hitting the Ordinals? Yeah, what was that again?
Stargaze Kingdom, Goody versus Baddies.
Yeah, that's with Scooby. That's who we're actually... Scooby helps us with the back end of everything. So just so you guys know, you can't just upload, and this is where people get really confused. So you can't just upload NFTs to a chain like you can to a marketplace on Stargaze. You can't just upload it. You have to go into the code. And I don't know anything about code really when it comes to how you implement it. All I know is you have to fork the code, and then you have to put all the inscriptions in. You got to have all the proper metadata, and then they run it. Ordinals, who I'm saying they run it through a script they have. It goes through 2 or 3 scripts. And if anything gets flagged, you have to start the whole process over every time. So luckily, Scooby, who is Stargaze Kingdoms, he has helped us just tremendously get through everything. And he still is someone that has led me on that side of things. He's just he literally was like, I need to pay you or something. He goes, no, dude, I'll just do it for you. That's how cool he is. And they've been doing great too. They've been doing it's crazy. Like, here's the craziest thing, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but like to see his NFTs, they're pretty cheap on Stargaze, but they're going for hundreds of dollars on Bitcoin, on the ordinals. So to me, that was like, wow, that's crazy. And we've had a few sales, $300, $400, $500 of sales, or per inscription. But Scooby's been a great person to bounce ideas off of, and he really knows what he's doing. Like, there's like, that is a great person. If you want to learn some more about ordinals, talk to Scooby, and he's just awesome. I honestly, I've never really talked to him much before we got into ordinals. The dude's a genius, and I'm very thankful to have got to know him.
The process you're describing is exactly why I'm so bullish on ordinals. Is the fact that I remember our first collection that we added to ordinal, we opened up a pull request, we added all the metadata. It literally took days for them to merge it in because there's so many people constantly opening up requests to merge in their ordinal, into the main site. It's so early. The fact that the mempool is full of so many ordinal, like so much gas is being paid, like all this makes me super excited for Bitcoin. I feel like something big is brewing. So I'm glad you guys are doing it. Other projects in Stargaze is doing it. It's gonna be fucking kick ass.
Yeah, it's been great, and it's just people say it's a hype, it's a fad, okay. Well, how do you know? Like, get off your high horse, and maybe, just maybe, you're talking about one of the biggest cryptocurrencies in the world that it opened up a whole new door for people to explore. Now, do the Bitcoin maxis hate it? Absolutely, most of them hate it. The gas is getting wild. I just looked at an inscription today, just to give you perspective. We were paying like $12 to $20 today before I left my office. $75 to inscribe the same NFT. Some of them were up to $250. So you need to know when to inscribe, and you need to do it when you need to do it with cost efficient. You need to know what the proper, one of the cool things about the meme pools, which is kind of just like mint scan for simple use, it tells you how much you overpaid in gas. So if you mess up, it'll be you paid 200x gas, and you'll be like, oh, damn, that was definitely not a good idea. But that's one thing I thought was kind of interesting is it tries to show you, like, right there, like, don't inscribe. It's trying to tell you, don't inscribe, just wait. And for anyone that's wondering, I have found typically Friday through Saturday in the evening Eastern Standard Time, like 10 to 11 at night, it gets a lot cheaper. So if you want to mess around and do things. And then another thing we thought was unique, and you might have to run this by founders because I'm not sure how they feel about it. But some of us have like NFTs that we call useless or whatever. They're worth like nothing. I wonder if everyone, and I talked to my team about this, I wonder if we made a collection called like the mystery box, right? And people could inscribe whatever they want at their own will. And then we can put it into the collection under one name where people can come and buy these. Because at the end of the day, people just want to buy shit, and they want low inscription numbers. So I thought, maybe that's a way to bring and introduce new founders and new community members to show them how to inscribe and walk them through the process. I think that, I don't know, might be cool because I saw what Kingdoms did, and my Lord, like, that was, if that's not like a light bulb in your head, then I don't know what is. But yeah, I could go on all day about it. We've really enjoyed it. And the traits Gluck has made for us are just out of this world. If you've seen the art that he's done, and he's had a great time with it as well. And it's so important. The community loved it. Even the artists loved it. I mean, what else can we do?
I'm kind of glad you mentioned that whole thing about a light bulb. Is, to me, as a business, as a project, you got to keep thinking about how to adapt. It's like, now that Chat GPT exists, right? Like, how can you use that to make your project, your brand even better? Now that Bitcoin ordinals exist, how can you leverage that? People who kind of just don't, like, kind of stay in their box, maybe it's not the best thing. Like, sort of go out there, see what exists, and who knows? Maybe if Meme Duck launched on Ethereum, they wouldn't have seen much success, but it launched on Stargaze. Now people are crazy. Throw shit out there and let's see what stick. People are crazy like that.
Yeah, if you don't take risk and you don't open up opportunities, and at the end of the day, like, everyone's got to remember, collections have to make money. if we don't make money and we can't cash flow, there will be no collections. So don't be worried when a collection is trying to do something new, or a founder or a team. Just maybe instead of like thinking one thought, sit down and look at it from a different perspective. Like, hey, maybe instead of like nagging at them, I could really help them and see what they see. Maybe I don't see it. Come from a different angle. And I really think that's what most people forget. At the end of the day, if projects can't cash flow, they won't be around. Like,
correct, AJ. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, that's one of the things about Raccoon and building the NFT marketplace, right, on Huahua. Dude, it's enabled us to keep the lights on. And there was like disgruntled people in the community like, oh, you know, why are you not putting energy into making games? We want more games, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, but that takes development, and you've got to put cash in for the reserve, etc. We need to keep the fucking lights on. And that's exactly what you're talking about, dude, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you know, in my business, we have a 35% gross margin, not 35%. You know, it's not like $100 plus 35%, like 35% gross margin. And when I come into, you know, Web3 is a little different, right? But as my team knows, like I pay my team before I pay anyone, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. But also, I'm going to keep the money in the project because we got to cash flow. We have to make sure that we're always growing, and like we have to. I just don't like when I think about it, and people are like, "Where's the airdrops? I mean, dude, relax. Do you know how much money we've spent to get here for your NFT that's already 10x or 20x, and your airdrops on top of that? Like, do you know how much money this costs? Because if you did, you'd probably pass out from seeing that. So I just really want people to understand, like, these projects, we really respect what you say and we love you guys, but I mean, come on. Sometimes you just gotta read between the lines and see how much these projects actually cost. And that goes for anything in Web3. You guys see how expensive it is. It goes for everyone. Like it's very expensive.
Correct. Go on, Signal. He's starting to come in here.
I was just going to complain about costs. No, I'm joking. You know, you're right. It is expensive. You put it like that's like we basically, at least for us, like we look at everything we're doing as just this like kind of big bet on this ecosystem. But yeah, I mean, you're very deep into it probably if you're like a small self-funded project, or any kind of project. If you're self-funded, you're probably pretty deep in. I wanted to share, if I can change this topic. Did you see this bad? I don't know if it's. I just know, Robo, you like news on your things. Is this BitKids collection real on Stargaze? You guys see this?
BitKids.
It looks like it's made by the contract that made Bad Kids. Sorry, there's a dog whining right outside my house. It's made by the contract that made Bad Kids, and it just appeared. It's going to launch tomorrow. It's called BitKids, but when you look, it's instantiated by the exact same contract that made Bad. So any
whitelist on it or not? Is any whitelist? No. You know, if you go to where it's telling you how long it's going to be before it launches, and it'll say
maybe if anyone in here is from the Bad Kid community, they could let us know. Like if it's legit, it might be something the community put together. Who knows?
It's made by the same address.
Yeah, so it has to be.
Yeah. I bet that's legit.
I can't hear your mic.
Oh, sorry. I bet it's legit then. I don't have anything like special to say on it other than that, but I'm assuming it's legitimate.
Well, okay, here we go. Everyone ape in, and if we get rugged, then we can blame Bonzi. I'm just kidding. It's not.
Confirmed.
No, I think you answered that. Like, yeah, it sounds legit. So everyone, let's ape in and just mint the project out.
Gonna be the first Bad Kids that I ever own.
And just
it looks like it's going live tomorrow, but I just noticed that it's up. It's not like listed on the launch pad yet, but I just noticed that it's gone up. So I don't know.
If it goes south, just DM Bonzi your stars address, and he'll make good on you. Don't worry about that, gang. We take care of our audience, you know.
Yeah, no, I will make a collection that is it'll be like the IOUs from Dumb and Dumber, and I'll mint like a picture of them.
IOUs. Hey, maybe it's April Fools. We got April coming up. Maybe they're just messing with us.
That's actually
Who knows?
that's reasonable, hey. But yeah, I put it. If anyone wants to check, this BitKids thing. I replied to the. I don't know how to put something in the nest, but I'm just curious.
Right.
If you click on a post, just click on it to open it up, and then on the bottom right where there's the share icon, or looks like a square with an arrow pointing up. Click on that.
I got it.
Okay, perfect.
There's there's certain things in UI that like you have a blindness to. Like it's like I open that up, that share, RAC FM doesn't appear in my mind. I mean, it's there, but I just don't see it. Thank you.
Can I mention something about RAC FM very, very quickly, guys? Finn just dropped us some news earlier, and he's in here. We are coming to the end, so guys, if anybody in the audience would like to come up and speak, please, by all means, we'll send out a couple of invites, right, as we get towards the end of the show. But you can literally now, if you're in front of a browser, you can just put racfm.org in, hit enter, bang, take you straight through to our landing page. So yeah, Finn got racfm.org for us. Oh, he's taking care of us, man, guys. We're on all platforms now.
Finn takes care of everyone. He's always in here. He's like managing us, like these dumbasses. No, he's awesome. Speaking of that, I need to send him a donation. Finn, sorry. You need to just get in my DMs and yell at me.
EJ, do you know what he's actually said in the Discord to B-Bands earlier? He's basically said to B-Bands, like, all he needs is some artwork, and he'll set up a complete landing page for you guys, yeah? Pretty cool.
Yeah, so Bands is already on. It's not Bands. We're waiting on Octane to get some art done. He's been having migraines lately, and we told him a while back, but he's also on a few projects that have been minting, like Arcadia and others. And yes, we are aware, and Finn, apologies for the delay, but 100% it is on the list.
We're indebted to what Finn's done for us. Like, he's built out the Spotify page. It's got like 70 odd episodes on, I think 77 or something. Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and obviously Twitter and the racfm.org now. So it's like I kind of give him enough kudos. AJ is an absolute legend. He is.
For me, I'm not thankful to Finn for anything. I just take him for granted, and I'm not thankful.
Hey guys, hopefully we can get some people up by all means. Hey, B-Ban, Saberstein, we can see you there. Scotty, Brandon, anybody wants to come up and ask a question, right? Chad, anyone? Jake would love to have any input. So was there any other things, RISBE, that was on your mind before we start to wrap it up?
No, I think we covered it. Definitely would love to hear from anyone in the audience. I know we've been speaking for a while, shooting the shit. So if anyone has any hard questions or interesting questions, would love to dive into it.
Bro, these shows, man, they're like, 2 hours, and it feels like 10 minutes. The time just flies by, Yeah,
and before I came here, I had a big-ass steak. I had a few Irish coffees, so I was super packed, almost ready to sleep, but this space definitely woke me up.
Superb, mate. You've been a brilliant moderator. AJ, was there anything you wanted to bring up, guys? I mean, we normally don't come on here shill the projects and that, but AJ, I saw you've opened up Ignition Labs. Congratulations, that's open fully now, yeah?
Yeah, so this is the 5th week. We opened it up for good. So if you guys want to burn your elixirs, don't burn them on Stargaze. We have a DApp that you go to, and it's kind of a process that you get to see a little bit of the lore. We also have an audio producer. He has some music overlay, and then Octane as well. He's the graphic producer, and they all did it together. So you'll burn your elixirs, you get a spaceship on the back end. And if you don't want to do that, we actually set up another way today. If you don't want to go to the DApp, because maybe after you do it a few times, you're like, cool, okay, that's fine. You can simply just send your elixirs to one of our wallets, and then it triggers a mint of an airdrop to your wallet. So it's just scripts interacting with one another. One has a quote unquote UI through the DApp, and the other one is just a boring transfer. And to be clear, do not burn them on Stargaze, and do not burn them period, unless you're going through the DApp, because when you do it on Stargaze, you're transferring them to our burn wallet, which triggers the script. So if you burn 4 on Stargaze, you won't get anything. That's your fault, which will still take care of you, but it's your fault. Don't make it harder on us. But yeah, it's been great. And we actually have, from there, we have staking that will be live when we go. I actually just messaged the dev before I got on this, and he said it's ready. Now Octane will do some changes to the front end, but it was ready to go live on Stargaze, and then we're migrating to Polygon, and now that's all going to be live on Polygon right when we migrate. So, and then we built the bridge as well. We built a bridge to bridge your NFTs from Stargaze to Polygon. You'll simply send your NFTs to our wallet with your MetaMask as the memo. It will then trigger the script and mint the exact same ID for you on Polygon. And then for now, you don't have to bridge. Like if you guys have a Space Skelly on, or anything, a spaceship or Elixir, anything, you don't have to bridge at all. You just won't get the benefits of the staking. The staking has the art upgrade, space pods, about everything under the sun that you can imagine. But just so you know, if you don't bridge, that's okay. Like it's up to you. It's up to the user, and we wanted to give you guys that option. But yeah, we're a lot happening, and just trying to just keep moving along. We also have the ordinals that we're trying to make sure we do right, and the ordinals has been moving so fast. That's been taking a lot of our energy. But most importantly is the Polygon, and then getting everything ready. So everyone that migrates will be able to have the first 1,000 NFTs will have boosters for Starlace within the DApp. It is a in-DApp token only, like V-Bucks on Fortnite. It has no value outside of the DApp. So yeah, just if you have questions, just let us know. And I don't want to go in too deep, but it's been awesome to see how dumb I am when all the devs start talking. But no, it's been great to really just see these things being built and it all come together. It's an idea on pen and paper. We have team meetings every week, and we just have been having these meetings for so many months. And to see it start to come together from just the back end and then to the UI and then to getting to actually experience it, it is really unique. And as a founder, getting to kind of be on the front end of it all and see how everyone interacts. There's a lot that you don't know when you think as a founder. And I learn, not really, I try to learn from these guys every day. But if you're a dev in here, you're a genius. And the stuff you guys do, my Lord, I can't even. It's amazing.
I also think you guys are experts at capitalizing on the shipping at the right time. You seem to have executed things at perfect kind of times. Skellies when the market was a bit low, so we've seen a massive run up. Then obviously Stargaze technology wasn't built there, so you guys have had to build your own, and you're capitalizing on that again. It's the timing of the ordinals. It's really good execution to watch, mind, from other projects.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's just a lot of team effort, and it's a lot of just, once again, it comes down to my team just staying ahead of the curve and not being scared to take chances. And our community knows at the end of the day, we have the best interest for them. With every decision we make, they are the number one priority. And the only reason we would make a decision is because we foresee it to be better for them. And it typically, don't want to say anything wrong, but it's done well, and people have trusted us. And it's not just it's not just me or the devs. We put it up for a vote. The community voted for us to move, and we just said, let's do it. We already were ready to move. We already had plans laid out. We let them make that final decision, and then we went. So it's a lot. It's so many moving parts, and as a founder, anyone in here knows there's always so much happening all the time. And
I thought there was going to be eyebrows raised, DJ. I thought there was going to be eyebrows raised about some projects moving, and something? No. And counter to that, we were talking last week in the after show about the Kepler, and I was talking to some core Juno devs, and they're like, nah, fuck it, we don't care. You go where your project best suited. It should have launched on there in the first place, kind of thing. In hindsight, doing what you guys want to do with the gaming, in hindsight, you probably should have launched on Polygon first, right? But never mind.
Yeah, there was just there's no marketplace on Polygon at that time. Everything was more dead than a rock. You know, after the DPEG, we went to Polygon and we were just kind of standing there like a boat in the middle of the water. Just there was no land in sight. We were waiting for one planet to build, and they didn't. Magic Eden didn't support Polygon, and no one really trusts links to mint on. Like Polygon wasn't really an NFT scene, and so no one really trusted you to just be like, oh, here's a link, like just go ahead and mint. So yeah, I mean, we really came to just get our collection minted, and because the community had been supporting us for over a year to get to that point where we minted, and then from there we knew sooner or later if we wanted to keep growing, like there was going to be growing pains, and there is a project that is going to be leaving Stargaze that is going to really piss people off. We'll talk about that when that happens. But everything is not as yeah, I'm just going to shut up. Just, yeah, don't be afraid to take chances, guys. Like, where if you're stuck and you're in the middle of a situation, just talk with your community. Let them know the ins and outs of what actually happens behind the scenes, and what your train of thought is, and get them in on team meetings. Bring in random people to your meetings that are active in the community. Just bring them in, and you'd be surprised the really dumb ideas that turn into good ideas. But yeah, I'm just going to leave that. I'll leave that there.
I feel like one of my favorite mottos that I try to live by is think big, move fast. And to me, you know, crypto Web3 is still the new frontier. So many random shit, you know, is possible here. You know, when the apps first came out, someone made $1 million making a simple, you know, flashlight app because it just didn't exist. And I think a lot of those opportunities exist within Web3 today. So I 100% agree with you. Don't be afraid to take chances. Listen to your community and just try stuff. You know, it can't hurt.
Amen. Can't hurt. What you gonna do? Mess up and then pivot and make a new change, right? You just gotta. The projects that worry me are the ones that don't take risk. Like, how are you gonna scale? How are you gonna stand out? Are you just gonna exist, or are you going to become something? And I really think, like, you know, some people, yeah, you're great, stay where you are. But if you see projects that are so massive, still making changes, let's just take DGods, for example, one of the biggest brands, and they could have just stayed very comfortable where they were at, right? And you're like, oh, they got, you know what, $4 million to move. Okay, $4 million, that's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money to run a project the size that they do. It's not that much money. And when you think about it, these guys just minted, I don't know if you saw this, they minted their ordinals, right? They minted, it was like 500 ordinals or something. These sold out so fast. People were paying an extra $3,000 to $5,000 in gas fees. And they went from about, I think it was like 9,000 mint, 12,000 a mint. They went 20K plus in a heartbeat. All of these. Do you know how much backlash someone like at that level gets, and how hard it is for them to probably not give in to all the negativity, and then to turn around and just say, watch me, just watch me. And I think that's what we all got to remember is we hear a lot of noise, right? There's a lot of noise in this space, but you know what it took to get to where you are. So you know what it takes to get to the next step. And it's okay to mess up. Like, you're going to fuck up. Like, that's just going to happen. But that's where you make the breakthrough, is once you mess up. And yeah, I've messed up so many times in real life to get to where I am now with my businesses. But it's the same thing in what I'm going to make a mistake one day in Web3, and the community is going to look at me like I'm an evil man. But that's okay, because at least I'm pushing our project to do more, do better every day.
But isn't that what RISBE's kind of saying though about the frontier? Like that's what the NFT industry is built for, isn't it? Is that like innovation and exploration, and like to me that's what NFT, the whole industry, like represents, right?
Yeah,
I feel like one of the things that a lot of people don't do, and they should, is you gotta celebrate failure. You know, every time you fail, you learn something. Next time you do it slightly different or slightly better. Like for me, I started well over 5+ companies, and in the beginning, 3 of them crashed and burned, but I learned a lot. And because of that, I started another successful company. I started Gelato, but all that didn't happen. This was like almost like 15 or 10, 15 years in the making. Like I failed a shit ton before I got to the place I am at life right now. And you just got to be okay with it. It's like every time you hear anyone great or any amazing project, they probably had 1,000 failures, and then the 1,001 they tried, something crazy happened. So yeah, just got to go shoot your shot, learn from it, and hopefully next time you do it, you'll do something different and better, and hopefully it'll take off.
Right, guys, we're gonna round it up, but we have got someone who's jumped up, the wonderful Brandon. I believe he was on the show with EJ and them the other day. I love those family shows that they have, man, on Bare Bones of Web3. So fucking cool, and having the crusty critters up there was brilliant. So Brandon, yeah, you can take us out with the last question, dude. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I don't really have much of a question, so I hadn't heard or seen anything about BitKids, and I got curious, so I started searching stuff. It looks like I'm assuming here this is all secondhand information or just off the top of my head research stuff, but it looks like it's a clone collection, but like a digital version. So I'm looking on Hubble Tools, and somebody's got 2 of them in their wallet. They're lower numbers in the collection, and then they've got exact matching numbers of digital ones that just got airdropped into their wallet for those 2 token IDs, and the actual token ID, like they're like digital versions of the one that you've already got sitting in your wallet. Like it's actually pretty slick. So I'm kind of, from what I'm guessing, it doesn't look like it's going to be a mintable collection at all. It looks like it's like a digital clone of whatever bad kid you have being airdropped into your wallet.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I got way more excited when I found that.
This fucking NFT roundtable, man, these shows are where it's at, man, isn't it? Any of you guys got a comment? Any of you guys holding bad kids in the treasury?
The one thing I would say is I want to say that it might be mintable, and the only reason I'm thinking that is they're giving themselves a day and a half to airdrop everything. They've done 15%. Like it'd have to be exact. So like I'm gonna bank on there being some that are mintable, but I could be wrong.
Well, hopefully they at least get up to, I think mine is like 5,087. So hopefully they at least get that far and airdrop me mine.
Is the collection size the exact same of Bad Kids?
They're both 9999.
So yeah, it could
But
be.
are they doing
could
it
be
by
an airdrop.
wallet? Like, you know what I mean? You could do it by wallet if you hold just one, or you could do it by how many you hold.
Like per 5, you get 1 or something crazy. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, okay. What I'm seeing in this wallet is like it's number 1301. They had Bad Kids number 1301, and now they've got BitKid number 1301, and they're like the same. They're both blonde girls with like the same features and shirt and all that shit. So I'm thinking that it's like a clone kind of a thing almost.
Okay, no, you're totally right. So when I first looked, I saw it was 15% airdropped, and I forgot to refresh the page, so I thought it was sitting at the same percent for like an hour. Never mind. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
That's fun.
Nice.
Don't get Bonzi started on Stargate's performance there. not the day.
Yeah, I know. That's good though. Good. I thank you for coming up and saying that. So now anyone that has questions, you should possibly 99% chance be getting an airdrop, it sounds like. So that's great job looking into that.
Oh, that Jake, he must be worth a fortune. He must be sitting on at least about 40 bad kids, I bet you. I bet he's got a right vault full, that fella. He loves a bad kid.
Yeah, I know somebody who has like 130. So yeah, don't piss off that well. There might be an issue. But yeah, he'll be getting a lot of airdrops. He'll be happy.
Don's only got about 60 left or something. I think he offloaded about 40. He should have kept
good
them.
Old Don, good old Don. He paper-handed Skellies at literally 180 stars. He paper-handed all of his Skellies. And he goes, I need to get more. I said, yeah, I mean, I can't just give you any, sorry. But yeah, he good old Don. He's always got interesting videos.
Yeah, I bought these raccoons. He paper-handed them at like 220, 225 or something, and then they went to like nearly 600. Thanks for playing, Don.
Oh, Lord. The L's. But
one more little detail thing. I'm sorry to cut in again. Just one more little detail thing. It looks like the most recent one that I can find was a transaction on December 4th. That one did receive a BitKid. So I'm not sure exactly when they did their snapshot, but it was not from like the mint or anything. It's more recent than that.
I got you. So they didn't put any of this information in their Discord? Doesn't look like it. Well,
Do
I
they
don't know.
have one?
I don't know. Do they have a Discord, Brandon?
I think they do.
They do have a
Do they?
Discord. I've not looked recently, though. I can pop in.
Yeah,
quick
they
and
might have
check.
had an announcement. We're asking all these questions. There might just be an announcement that's literally just tells us what it is. But yeah, that's awesome. Airdrops.
They like to do it kind of. I feel like it's probably stealth. Maybe there's an announcement though. You might be right.
Yeah, because that'd be kind of. It's interesting, you know, when they do. Sometimes they do airdrops, right? And that a seller maybe offloads, or people all start offloading, and all of a sudden they get the airdrops and not the new holder. So then it's like you caught in that, you know, catch 22. If you didn't tell anybody when the snapshot deadline was or time frame, then people can get upset. But if it's just, you know, it's not going to have the 20K start value. So any airdrops, well, yeah, any airdrops just free, right? And you can make something from it. But that's good. That someone's going to be very happy if they have a lot of bad kids.
And with that, gentlemen, we are starting to get messages of warning from Finn telling me we've got like 3 minutes left. 2 hours and 20 is literally the furthest he goes without breaking something up. Guys, I tell you what, this show, absolutely fantastic. Honestly, I so much enjoyed taking part of these, and I'm sure, RISBE, I'm sure you've had a lot of fun today, yeah?
It was incredible. Definitely can't wait to attend the next roundtable. Thank you for all the amazing conversation. My wife is slightly yelling at me to go to bed too. It's almost like 11:30 out here. So yeah, definitely enjoyed it all the time here.
No worries, my friend. More than welcome. And I'm looking forward to RAC FM and you guys, you know, just pushing forward, standing, like I say, shoulder to shoulder. You know, that's how it should work. Well, it's like low-level projects. If we can stand together, we can create change, you know.
We'll take the gambling world by a storm. Can't wait.
For sure, man. Guys, anything to say before we pop off, dude, for the night?
We do have a collection coming out with Cosmograph on March 31st on Stargaze, 10-piece collection. Yeah, more details on that later. Otherwise, thank you so much, everyone. I always learn so much from these spaces, shooting the shit with you guys, and it's really cool to be with these projects here, so thank you.
No worries. I take it if it's a small collection, there'll be no whitelisting, then first come, first served, yeah?
Yeah, nothing else, yeah.
Interesting. March 31st, guys, get that in your calendar. Pepe, you still around, dude? We know you were at work.
Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't get to participate much tonight, but I was listening the whole time, and yeah, I don't have a lot of input on ordinals anyways, so it was just kind of cool to listen to everything that's going on with all of that, so appreciate the insights, and thank you all.
No worries, Pepe, mate, we understand. It's always a pleasure, sir, never a chore. All right, you're one of the founders of the NFT Roundtable, you know. Bonzi, got anything to add?
Yeah, just for SSR, we're taking our snapshot on 3/24, so in like 3 days for the card airdrop for the game. We are targeting, so there's like 3 different conversations happening. The game will be ready by 3/31. It might not be approved by the App Store then. And on Stargaze's side, that ETH special thing that we have going might not be till the 7th. So somewhere between 3/31 to 4/7, I believe the game will be released. So slight update on that, but the snapshot is being taken in 3 days. Look to our profile for the airdrop distribution. Thanks, guys.
And I've seen people scooping up those Sunnysides. I saw somebody fat-fingered one the other day and sold it for dirt cheap, and Homestead bought it straight up or something. I saw that the other day.
Can I say real quick, this part I'm amazed by. So if you go to our standard collection, number 1 through 1,000, the last time I checked, there was a single one for sale that was for 5,000 stars. Like, I love, like, no one notices it from the outside, but like on the inside, 1 through 1,000 are like our DAO NFTs, right? So like everyone's been scooping them up who like follows us, and it's been crazy to see because like, you know, people look at it and they see 50 whatever star floor price, but the good ones, there aren't any. They're all being held. Like,
yeah, that was a juicy one Homestead picked up the other day. Like, he's been sitting on Hubble just waiting for them on the live listings stream, you know, just refreshing. Yeah, brilliant. I actually think Jacob as well was mentioning about the collection the other day. Jacob, just before we have got to go because Finn's getting angry. Any last comments, Jacob, before we close out?
I would say we have a second collection on Juno. We're opening the minting process soon, so hopefully by next week or the week after. So if you go on my pin tweet, you should see all the information. So it's a one of a kind first generative music NFT in the cosmos, backed by 30 Juno. So that's like the gist of the NFT. It's also a DAO governance in Juno, so we're utilizing DAO to make it happen. So it's pretty cool. So if you're listening, you can just check it out. So I'm excited about that one. So it should
Atlas DAO, is that right? Is that Atlas DAO?
Yeah, Atlas DAO. Yeah, so Atlas DAO. So we finally launched Atlas DAO. So the NFTs, Atlas NFTs. So should be pretty cool. Check it out, guys. Thank you.
No worries, buddy. Thank you very much. And guys, I will say big props to RISB tonight because I did plan on having two co-hosts. I'm guessing there's something that's cropped up or something that's going on because we have had a long-term commitment and this person's been on the show before, so it's definitely something's happened, you know. We'll see if we can rearrange it for another one. And we'll just keep trying to mix it up, guys, you know, have some good, cool guest moderators on and hopefully keep, meeting once a fortnight and chewing the fat, right? So, yeah, I want to thank you all very much. Yep, if you're in the States, I wish you good evening, right? Go and relax a little bit, before you drift off. And thank you very much, guys, for being in attendance. And to the audience, you're all Giga Chads. If you were late to the show, this will be up very, very soon on any of the platforms I mentioned. And always remember, RACfm.org. Just hit that, hit enter, and you'll see our landing page, and there you go. Right, guys, take care. Love you, loads. Until next time, bye-bye.
It's the RAC show coming from the RAC store. With this back in the Mac in the backflow. Let's go, chillin' with raccoons by the back door. Take calls so you can stake more. All I wanna do is making dough, right? But I found this crew and doing alright. We RAC will bitch, ready to fight. So many raccoons ready for the boss life. I might fly high like a kite, right? But always ready for a shite for the right price. Raccoon supply has the right price. Giving you respect if it's likewise. So I'm buying all the mean guys with the clean heart. Read between lies, laser beam through lean eyes. Larry or with clean lies, trash mouth, mean smile, be wise. NFT wise, fuck with these guys. It's the RAC rap from the back lab. 100 NFTs in my backpack. Crazy RAC rap from the stash app. RAC will take a lead in this haystack. It's the RAC rap from the back lab. 100 NFTs in my backpack. Crazy RAC back from the stash app. RAC will take a lead in this haystack. Blast that RAC rap from the stash app. Supplying the raccoons with a headbang rap. RAC gang with the RAC will slang like a trash can. Hoodie with fangs and a gold chain. It's either RAC will or the red pill. Best chill while we get into the first meal. Best feel, best devs with the best skill. No shill, all real, secret is a great deal. RAC will insane, Shane better stand fast. Robo shooting his tweets with straight facts. Knowledge from the street, with the best plan yet. Winston gotta eat if you retweet that. Free alpha live feed from the base camp. McKenna always ready if you dare that. Buying all raccoons for his rare stash. Trash panda biker gang, motherfucking hashtag. It's the RAC rap from the back lab. 100 NFTs in my backpack. Crazy RAC rap from the stash app. RAC will take a lead in this haystack. It's the RAC rap from the back lab. 100 NFTs in my backpack. Crazy RAC back from the stash app. RAC will take a lead in this haystack.
spaces.